Hello and welcome everybody out there in YouTube and D&D land. I hope you're all having a fantastic day today. Before we jump into the action, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All of those things help us out tremendously. Now, let's get into the game. Alrighty, looks like Monkey is giving us a recap.
All right, so last week, the party, except for Monkey, ran out of the lore keeper's tent, and they turned and they see Monkey making a really quick dash in front of a sandstorm behind him, trying not to get swallowed up. Samdi started to cast a teleportation circle just in case we need to get out of there, but it will take some time to do that. So the rest of the group prepares to defend him against being disrupted. And Monkey's quite surprising and seems to be more than capable of handling himself. He grows in size to a large size and starts smashing the swarms of bones with a maul that he pulls out from behind his back. And the party does notice that these bones are driven by some sort of sentient wind, and they realize that a Sandman is driving them. And he is surprised, the Sandman is surprised, attacked by a polymorphed Bart, who was in the shape of a T-Rex. And the Sandman blinds the T-Rex with a curse. Cat successfully banishes the Sandman, helping Bart get through the fray. Fen becomes a scorpion, so we have several giant things on the map now, so Fen becomes a scorpion. And grabs another Sandman in his claws, and Vance deals the final blow on that Sandman. Once that Sandman is dead, the rest of the swarm dies off, and Samdi finishes casting the circle. The party very beaten up, and Bart is blinded. So we head into the teleportation circle to Shinari's office. Surprised, somebody is asked for a report and makes friends with the lore keeper, walking out of the office to speak with him about what had been going on. We do determine that Bart's affliction is a curse, and Monkey, Vance, and Fen go to visit Mama Vusi for diamond dust for the cure, which Fen can only cast the cure the next day. Monkey thinks he's being propositioned by Madame Vusi. Madame Vusi probably thinks otherwise. Bart has been contacted by the banished Sandman, who commented during the previous fight that the Sandman had assumed he was the one to defeat, but now he has changed his mind to punishing the ones who banished him and killed his brother. Bart didn't take kindly to the threat towards Cat, and he was already on edge about being blind. And he was disturbed enough that somebody hopped into his head. It was kind of a little bit of pandemonium as tempers flared in the party. Somebody offers to cast Catnap so that all of them could go after the Sandman. Thinking better of it, somebody took it off the table, but Cat refused to be persuaded. So when the three arrived back, after stopping at Fen's hiding spot to get a few things so that Fen could make the solve to help Bart's blindness, it was kind of a madhouse. So Shinari suggested that having some way to connect everyone's mind would be beneficial, as the Sandman had threatened to attack Cat when she was alone in her dreams. So we come up with earrings. The party comes up with earrings so they can and they decided that afternoon would be a good time to retrieve them from Casino and the leader of the city itself, and they prepare to face the Sandman in his own territory. This will be our third counter without unrest, and one of our crew is still blinded, and this will be this encounter, if it goes off, will happen in the strange and maybe nightmarish region of
Terrifying world.
Yeah, I can only guess. I could be rainbows and unicorns, but I doubt it.
Alrighty. So, as you all have prepared yourselves, Shinari
Huh?
walks over to the front of the Glory Post estate.
Am I still a child?
And you see him,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Actually, I
You
would have
see him
dropped seeming by
hesitate.
now.
You can't.
It just
You can-
lasts.
It just
Oh,
lasts
You
8
can't
hours.
dismiss the spell.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
it.
No,
I thought you could.
don't drop it. It's a better bit. Like to be a child inside a casino. Let's go.
Unless you use your action to dismiss it sooner. It is
Don't do it.
dismissible.
Don't do it.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Don't do it.
That's
Keep
your
me a child.
But okay, yeah, no, we're keeping Spin a child just because it's just you look at this motley group and you're like, these are the people who are gonna save us. Okay.
Let's go.
Shinari is standing there at the front of the outpost. All of you are at the front door of the outpost. All of you wander your way outside, and you make it about halfway across the courtyard before you notice he's not walking with you.
Oh yeah, he's
Shinari?
He's terrified of going outside.
Did we see where he went?
Is he just standing at the door?
He's standing in the doorframe.
Is he panicking?
He's looking at the bottom of the stairs right now.
Shinari, is there something wrong?
No, of course not. It's just, outside. It's outside.
And I understand.
Insight check.
Go for it, monkey.
Oh shit.
Started off
You've
like
seen
that.
this look on many a soldier's face. Warriors, gladiators, fighters. People who are, by their own right, fearless, except when it comes to a sparked memory that resides inside of them. Something that is almost paralyzing.
I will walk up and say, yes, I remember a time when great generals felt the same way that you probably do, and I was taught a little something. I don't know if you'd be interested, but maybe we could place this blindfold on you while we just walk, and I will tell you a story.
Roll me persuasion.
Son of a gun. All right, I'm going to go ahead and, God, I hate doing it this early. I will use my game advantage. And I killed the rest of the party because I don't have advantage later.
Okay.
15.
15. He seems hesitant, but you have distracted his mind, at least a portion of it. This is a incredibly intelligent individual whose mind can seemingly concentrate on 12 different things at once, but you've at least pulled a few of the threads of his mind that were all fixated at that last step.
And that's
Doris. Go ahead, Kat.
kind of picking up on what Monkey's trying to do. Kat will kind of join in with like, that sounds interesting. There's not much I would like to know about some of your past, Monkey. I mean, you seem to be quite capable. on the battlefield, and it's interesting to run into histories that you would not necessarily always find in casino.
Yes. But let me tell you the story of a great general. Great person. He very large, big ears, very, very long nose that came down and up and around, and he would grasp things, giant clubs he would wield, and had swords and both. And I'm going to go on and tell some mythical story about a Loxodon warrior.
All right. Give me a, we'll say a performance check.
All right.
And can I be assisting?
Sure. How are you assisting, though?
She's acting like she's interested in it well and asking questions and trying to look like she's interested in that. So it's, you know, when you have kind of like when you have multiple people and like someone gets bored, it's easy for someone else to get bored of it. So that's what
all right. Yeah. So you're engaging with his story to draw
Mm-hmm.
intrigue. Okay, yeah. There you go. You have advantage.
Thank you for the advantage. And my story still sucked.
9. He seems to be correcting each portion of the story that you are telling very systematically. You know, the long nose, it is a Loxodon. And just like adding in his own little 2 bits of his mind that is analyzing your story with just a few more of those mental threads that he has.
Sister Katarine tugging on dress. Shouldn't you change your hair and your makeup, maybe?
I have nothing left to do that. We are also walking with
some mud.
Hearing that as I'm telling this,
there.
hearing that as I'm telling the story, I'll take off my hat, pull out the pin that holds my hair up, put my hat back on, and off it to Kat, thinking that she needs to fix her hair.
Oh, thank you, Monkey. But let's just say that I am very recognizable around here, and that is not a good thing.
Staff for the time being.
Don't like that idea. Also, I don't know if Monkey, if we said anything. Kat's also carrying like a 6-foot-tall golden staff that has snakes on both ends with wings. It's
very
like tall,
ostentatious.
very ostentatious, and she has a death grip on it.
Which snake with wings is out right now, by the way? Is it the outwards aggressive one or the backwards one?
The
Which one is facing up?
The kind of more like, I don't know. She's feeling. Yeah, so it's the other one. The aggressive one might come out later. We'll see.
Sandy, who has been like standing there, listening to this entire confrontation happen, is going to say to Shinari, "You're going to have to step down from here at some point." And it only requires it's only one step. The rest is the outside. You're just stuck in front of a barrier. You just need a nudge. And I'll telekinesis one of his legs to take a step out. Not telekinesis, but telekinetic, this thing.
Are you aggressively doing it, or are you just like nudging for him to do it?
It's invisible completely and doesn't require any components. I'm just pushing the back of his leg away from the step to try and like suggest that he takes a step.
Roll me a persuasion.
There. Wow. Today.
Don't worry,
Oh, God.
the aggressive tactic that Fen will do is coming soon.
He kind of like feels the nudge and looks back and then looks over at you, Samdi, and just like shakes his head. I know I know what I have to do. I will. It's been 20 years, so.
Do you wish
And
to not
this-
be aware of doing it, or do you want to do this with awareness?
I don't know. I have to do it. I know I have to do it. It's only a stare. It's just every time I leave, something bad happens.
I feel like I shouldn't do what I was about to do because I'm scared that Shinari had a child that got killed or something. Why?
With that, Katarine will kind of walk up next to him. There are certain places that I cannot go. Still. I understand. Places that have closed-in gardens, I cannot go. You are not alone in feeling the trepidation. But it is... And it is not just part of your mind, and it's not just this step, it is everything that is behind it. To take that step is to go back to that place. You don't have to stay there, though. Take it with you.
Roll me persuasion.
Is it gonna be up to Fen after this?
Roll a four.
I have a +7 to this. Do I use my advantage?
I
I have
Why
2.
not? Makes
feel
it
like-
interesting. I blew
There's a
mine.
lot- there's
We
a
got
lot more
combat
to do.
later.
Yeah, we are gonna have combat
How
later.
important is it to Cat to get him off that step? That's the question.
It's advantage worthy because it's not just him, it's about her too. 30-20.
He sits there for a moment, nodding his head as you are speaking, seeming to wrap his brain around the different consequences of what could happen all at once. To the north, you see the rest of the Katsun stop their training, just watching. Glances over at them. Lifts his head up high. Takes one step. You see a fear. In the back of his mind that is leaking forward towards his eyes. Then he steps down another stair. Passives of 16 or higher in the party.
Nope.
Hi.
Samdi
Hello.
and Fen. As he takes that step, and there's only one more step for him to take, you see a runic marking appear around his forehead, wrapping around it. And Samdi can read it, as he is practiced at reading a book. It is a curse of fear placed on his mind.
Is it to clarify? This is like a curse that's already been placed.
Mm,
Yes.
mm.
Joey, your camera keeps focusing
Oh.
on your mic and not you.
Oh fuck. Oh no. What's with the name change?
Don't worry. That was a slip up on my part. It's not anything. Just ignore it.
Sure. I'm gonna attempt to connect his mind.
His barriers seem to be shrinking, falling down. You peer into the mind and you hear his voice. I can't disappoint all of them. I have to. We need leadership. We need people who understand. And then there's a second voice playing around in there. Every time you do, someone else dies. Somewhere else. Wherever you go, you're only safe here. Take one more step. We could all die. And he doesn't seem to recognize that there's a second voice in his mind. He just treats it like a conscious thought of his own.
If after the second voice is done, I'm gonna emanate out only be reasonable here. Correlation does not mean causation.
You see the wheels turning and turning and turning. And at this point, Kat, since you are watching closely, you notice the runic marking on his forehead, but it is written in a Bakwin, which you haven't quite trained in yet.
Right.
And Samdi... Oh, you had something. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm going to see kind of the runic marking and his hesitation. And I'm going to hold out my hand very gently and say, just take a walk with me, Shinari. That is all. There are no consequences to a walk.
He extends his hand, but there's a moment of hesitation. Samdi, as you are trying to break past the other voice in his mind, it chirps up louder. What if it isn't? What if you are cursed? That is the nature of being you. A child born with all of the intelligence but none of the wit. Remember what happens every time you leave your house. Just like clockwork.
I'm gonna grab his hand.
Post athletics? I don't think he can
No,
possibly.
it's not like it's not a like crazy
Oh.
like I'm not being like I'm just gonna be like, big bro, if anything happens to you, I'll protect you, I promise. We can always fix it. Let's go on an adventure.
Can I ask you to repeat what that voice said in his mind, because my mom came to talk to me?
Yeah, no worries. The voice said, "Remember, all of the smarts, none of the wit. Every time you leave home, someone else suffers."
Maybe he has a sibling or child, and this will strike a chord, because I'm still an Abaquin child. We never clarified if I was Moon or Sun.
Yep.
Can I say something first?
D.
Just as a
Yes.
I'm gonna say in his mind again. Not everything has consequence. Things with consequence are always blown out of proportion when you think about nothing but said consequence. Life requires perspective.
As you are listening to the two conversations and Fen grabs his hand on the outside of his mind, you, Samdi, see on the inside of his mind an older Moon Abaquin grabbing his hand, Shinari's hand, and bringing him out of a very small hut in the middle of the desert by a different oasis. As you see that image, you see a dark shadow reign over top of that older Abaquin. And then you see these tunneling creatures, large with hard exteriors and shells, leaping out all around and attacking and ripping that person to shred as Shinari stands there unable to do anything.
Insight check that to see if that's actual memory or the curse of fear affecting him.
Go ahead and roll.
And to make no Joey, I'm not ripping him off the. I'm not trying to like.
12.
Just like,
12. It could be an over-exaggeration of a memory, or it could be completely make-believe. But to Shinari, it's real.
I'm gonna.
In
Go
the
ahead
middle of all
first.
this, Kat will kind of ping to everyone, just give him some space. Do not force him. Let him do this on his own.
I'm going to immediately ping back. That rune on his forehead is making him scared.
Yes,
It's a
perhaps.
no, it is literally a rune of fear. There's a second voice in here. Not my own, not his.
Right, and how
Does
do
it
you think that
sound
he
like
is going to be
Samdi-
done with it?
I am coaxing him. I'm not forcing him.
I'm just holding his hand.
Monkey's still telling the story about the water.
Monkey's still talking.
That's it is helping for somebody like him having his mind distracted by at least a portion of a different reality is helping him. So he's holding Kat's hand, he's holding Fen's hand, and both of you feel he's shaking.
an animal, like a nice
Somdi?
dog.
I'm going to send
Somdi?
defend nothing that burrows, and I'm going to say to his mind, oh God, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Was not your fault. Correlation is not causation. What happened to him was an accident. Speaking out of my own ass.
Somdi. Roll me a spell attack as you are contesting the rune on his head.
Chill touch then. Uh, 16.
16. You hear that other voice begins to exude frustration instead of malice. Shut up. It whispers to you, and Shinari seems distracted for a moment as that happens, and it goes back. It's always your fault. It's always your fault. And you see Jakit, Tomb, him wandering in there with a group of the Katsun. You see them begin to get slaughtered from the horrific undead that you just fought against, Samdi. And him sitting there examining items as everybody else is dying all around him. Again, another over-exaggeration.
Yeah, I want to try and insight that again to like just figure out how much of that is real. Because again, it's an over-exaggeration doesn't mean that it's pure fiction.
Go for it.
While he's doing that, just want to be sure it wasn't your fault. That was mental connection, right?
Yeah, but you have your intercom on so you can hear Samdi speaking. Okay. Samdi's the only person allowed inside of Shinari's mind. He allowed you before. He's not blocking you out. He's blocking others. Much like Fen does.
Okay, so would I have heard that it's not your fault?
Yes.
Okay. With that, as he's doing the insight, Catherine will look at him and say, do you think that you were the witness to at least some part of my story? Do you think that it was my fault?
I need you to roll me I'll say persuasion on this. Because you're authentically asking him, right? Or are you trying to distract him?
If he can have compassion for someone else, this story, then perhaps he can have compassion for his own. But she's starting that conversation, so it would be genuine.
Okay. Roll me a persuasion then.
Please. 17.
Samdi, you start to notice that his mind is straining in different avenues and different pathways as he's being distracted by more individuals, and the remaining threads of his attention are beginning to wane. And he looks at you, Katarine. What? Of course not.
Then why do you blame yourself? It is easy enough to forgive others. I understand. Give the same grace and understanding to yourself. Otherwise, you are going to stay trapped in that forever. And those that you lost, they would not want that for you.
Samdi. Go ahead, continue.
You do not have to torture yourself forever for what happened. You can carry them with you.
Samdi. as she is speaking, you hear the other voices beginning to get drowned out by Cat. It's not quite enough to break whatever curse is on him, but right now that voice is being covered up, at least by the outside noises. What do you do?
Can I get the result of my insight first? Or...
Oh,
Yes.
sorry about that, Cat. Girl.
Yeah, no problem.
There is absolutely a truth to this. You've heard the story of Jakit Tomb from him himself, but again, it is being over-exaggerated by a very large portion. You imagine he probably was distracted by finding some type of artifact or magical item, and it may have had bad consequences, as it usually does, but nowhere near to the extreme that it's being pushed into his mind.
All right, back to the present. I'm going to start shouting in his mind. Look at yourself. Look at what you think of yourself. Are you going to be trapped, a child forever? Stuck in a single mistake that cost lives? And never learning from it? You are so much more now.
Give me another spell attack. This time with advantage from Cat.
Gonna look at Monkey. They do this a lot, by the way. A lot of inner monologuing. So thank God you have stories that I can listen to, because you know.
Then the beasts of the forest came out.
Yeah.
27.
27, yes.
In that moment, you see a separate image of Shinari in front of himself as that child version of himself. And you see the shadowy figure over top, crushing the shoulders as the child is trying to grow. And he's staring no longer at the other version of him, but at that entity in his mind. And he just nods, understanding. He takes one step in his mind, the outside, his body mimicking in the same manner, and exactly as he steps into the position of his younger self, his foot collides with the sands outside of his estate. And that marking of fear shatters against his mind.
We go. Keep it moving.
As this happens, you start backing up Fen, and he begins walking with you, still a little shaky
I'm not going fast.
as he is moving.
Going
Yeah,
easy,
and
but,
Cat's
like,
supporting him on the other side as
Keeping,
well.
maintaining pace.
And he
And
starts
out-
walking with the two of you.
Out loud, Catherine will just say, "My friend," and just give him a knowing nod and keep helping him along.
He looks over at all of the Katsun. Everybody seems to have gathered now. They all are outside. And you recognize a look of respect from all of them. Not just at him, but but at all of you. Ben, your entire life up until now, you've been a fighter. Scrapping, surviving, learning what you can from those that you trust. This is the first time you've been anywhere other than arenas that you felt appreciated. Samdi. All of the toughest, scrappiest, biggest assholes that work here. For the first time, they don't seem to be looking down at you for your waddling walk or your avoidance of fighting or perception of not being capable. They seem to be seeing you as more than just Samdi, seeing you as one of them, respecting you. And you see Tilt sitting on top of one of the buildings. She gives you a big thumbs up, Samdi.
On the Vusi.
Santi is going to waddle away from the parade and is just going to send a message to Kat. And it's just going to be, God, I should be a therapist.
And he'll get one back. That was pretty. That was something someday.
Expect nothing nice from me now.
As you're walking over towards the front gates with him, he finally releases both of your hands as he is walking and turns to look back at the rest of the Katsun. Today we are not hiding any longer. We are not waiting for anything else. We will change Casino with our friends and allies. We will make this place remarkable and beautiful for each of our ancestors and for ourselves and for our children. Takes a very deep breath. Will point his finger at you, Samdi. Command them.
Santi, who has like made his way towards the exit, just looks back. ¿Por qué?
I am a thinker. I am not a motivator like you. Command them. Tell them to move with us.
Sandy is going to like turn around towards the rest of them. Just is going to rub the bridge of his nose. And is going to give his best commanding shout, which he does not use often. And is going to say, "You heard him. March." And I'm assuming he's asking us to move the entire Katsune with him?
Yes. Immediately, people begin moving over. Some of them seem a little hesitant when you say that, and you notice the same brutes that always look down at you smack them upside the head. Move! And people start moving. Tilt runs down across the pathway, right up to Shinari. Hey, so are we just are we going to Glory Haven? No, not yet.
She's ready to go.
We are patrolling the streets.
We have woken a fury inside of Tilt.
No, we
are
gave her ammunition.
Oh yeah.
We are going to be moving through the estates. And we are marching through the gambler's den, showing who we are. This meeting has to go very well, Tilt. You're on security, okay? Yeah, of course. Everybody else is there to safeguard the location. We cannot underestimate Silk at all. I'm trusting these individuals to engage with him or myself. Nobody else. Good. Yeah, totally. I gotcha. But by the way, Samdi, you're really cool. And she goes running off.
I tag her with a link. And as she's running off, I'm going to say this. This entire operation hinges on perfection at the moment. Do what you do best. Be yourself. No one's gonna believe you I said this.
She'll reply to the mental connection. Oh, I don't know. Maybe people are figuring out, like I've always known, you're not such a bad guy.
I cut off the connection before I started thinking about the people I've murdered.
Listen, you can do bad things, but you're not a bad guy.
Bad guy. You were just bad guy.
Yeah. So.
And
You
the
all
giant
begin
and the
traveling.
Loxodon general rode off on his faithful companion that was the giant snake.
What do Loxodons taste like?
Never eaten one, actually. Probably similar to you,
Or
I
actually-
would guess.
Really?
Something just came up. I might be gone for about half an hour.
Okay, take care. So, as you all begin moving, marching through the Gambler's Den and the Crescent Estates, you start to notice many, and I mean many, of Silk's agents, the Aman, that are always around the city somewhere. Just people ignore them. That become a little bit more alarmed. They first take note of all of you just walking casually through the city. And then they realize that the Archmage of Casino has left his home.
I flick off all the people I see that are the bad guys. As a child, a Bachman child.
They will look very confused.
Right.
And as you do so, you get a couple of the rowdier of the Katsun standing behind you, snarling at them. Just pat you on the shoulder. Like the attitude.
Thanks.
And Katarine is doing like her I'm not even paying any attention to you, swine, like kind of attitude towards Tiamat.
Like you're walking down the runway.
Yeah, like she's just like she's sending very clear signals about how she feels about them. Which is
Damn it, where is my wanted poster? I should have brought it here with us.
oh yeah.
So I could hand it to one of them. Hey, I think I found the guy you're looking for, and hand him one of.
The one with Silka's drawing on it, yes. Be like, oh, this might be the guy that you're.
How's he looking? As we're walking, Shinari, is he maintaining his? Is that thing gone? The.
Mm-hmm.
That
Okay,
marking
alright,
on his
sure.
forehead has disappeared. Yes.
I was worried I was gonna have to.
And he's
I was just worried I was gonna have to cast Creator Restoration twice.
great way to
Who is
start
more
tomorrow,
important?
right? Well, I can give you a hint. One of them had an assassin specifically thrown after him.
True. So Shinari, gotcha.
So, you wander and walk all the way up the Oracle line over towards Oracle Bet. You look out, for the first time for many of you, at the namesake of this city and civilization. Ben, you've passed through the Oracle Bet, but you've never been well dressed enough to be accepted in there. Katarine, you've only been in the city for a short period of time, and you knew it was a good idea not to gamble what little money you had away.
Mm-hmm.
Samdi has passed through here once or twice, but Monkey, you've never, ever seen a beautiful display like this. You see that there are these grand, almost polished stone-looking arenas that look as beautiful for any champion of any god to fight inside of. All outdoor, all open, gorgeous. You see the images and statues of every great gladiator that has come through Casino. Every single person who's been ranked #1.
This is amazing. I assume all of you have taken the pleasure and opportunity to fight in one of these?
No, I haven't, Monkey. Thank you for bringing it up.
Oh.
No, I have not. He's just like pouting, just like walk pouting.
Finn is good. He'll have the chance soon.
Yeah, that was my that was my assumption that you had, Finn, based on you. And Kat, what was it like fighting in there?
He laughs when he hears it.
Oh, just let me have another day to change my staff into something, and then I will show you.
Yes. Oh, what an honor and a privilege. This is. I look forward to it someday.
Did Jessamine ever get first?
The newest statue that is being built, just on the outside of the pathway, as it started from the inside, wrapped around, and moves out the path. You see a couple of dwarven craftsmen working on the statue of Jessamine's likeness.
Okay, insight check this, make sure they're not fucking it up.
Perception check it.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know, like, yeah. I just said insight because I didn't know exactly what they're the same though. 20. Dirty.
They're putting sapphires where the eyes are. His eyes were white.
Excuse me, sirs.
One of them looks over at you, and walks over and squats. Hello there, small child. How are you?
Smack. If you're gonna do the #1 gladiator, you better be fucking right. His eyes were white, not blue. And I'm gonna storm off.
Ew. Little shit, I will immediately
don't.
4 of the Katsoon.
And Katarine behind him.
Ah, bodyguards. I love having them. Sorry, he was quite upset though, seeing them fucking up.
Doesn't me, yeah.
Yeah. Let's give a look. I'll definitely come back and visit now and then.
I thought perhaps the best craftsman that casino had to offer would actually get that right. And she'll say as she
Well, he always
follows
wears
Finn.
He always wore his helmet, so it was hard to know.
It's not like there was a body to look at either, so...
Can you not?
No, this was out of character. This is out
Oh
of
no, I'm
character.
sure Kat said it too.
No, she wouldn't have.
So,
Cold-hearted temptress.
the dwarves go back to working on what they were doing, and Shinari gives a nod at one of them who just, I'll look it up, okay? And heads off. You make it over to the stairs, and you see the Katsoon remain outside, tilt closest to the stairways. Okay, guys. So we're gonna be out here. In case anything goes wrong, don't worry, we got your back. And for Monkey's sake, Tilt is a kobold, roughly about 2.5 feet tall, wearing plate mail armor, with a staff that has the shining sun at the top of it, who looks like the most timid and terrified tiny little creature.
She's a cinnamon roll.
And she's wearing regalia as the number 2 of Katsoon.
Don't worry. I know Scaly Squad's got our back. Pat her on the head and keep walking.
Wait, only Fens...
Which is really funny because
So.
a song called "I'm a Dragon" just came on my playlist. So just so you guys are aware.
Let's go.
You've made it over to Oracle's Bet, and you are getting ready to enter inside. Let me bring you all over to the first of many maps.
Who do we feel like should be our envoy for this, guys? I was just wondering.
Is Carl still here?
He said he'd be gone for about 30 minutes.
Okay, so then I guess it would be Katarine.
Perfect. Kat, as I feel like you're used to talking to nobles. Well, I mean, Monkey's a god, so I don't want him to offend the noble because he is above, like god, a noble, like kings and stuff, him being a god. So I'm gonna cast Enhance Ability as I just touch your arm, and a tattoo appears on Kat. One of Fenn's tattoos appears on Kat's arm, and you will get what looks like a very flying, swooping eagle. You're getting Eagle Splendor. You have advantage on charisma checks.
On what?
Charisma
checks. Hell to the fuck yes.
Yeah.
So, as we are entering into the casino, I will describe what it looks like when we get back from break, so Samdi can be here for it, hopefully, since he had to AFK for 30 minutes. It's a little early, but, let's get the whole atmosphere going.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.